My name is Alena Greulich. I am the Corps Commander for Air Force Junior ROTC program here at Little Miami, and you're listening to the Little Miami Woodhenge podcast.
Welcome to episode 5 of the Woodhenge podcast. I'm Mr. DeSanctis.
And I'm Miss Frederick.
Thanks so much for joining us. Here at Little Miami, it is Patriot Week. Started with the football game on Friday night. It was also Staff Appreciation Night, so we saw a bunch of the teachers out honoring some first responders, military folks before the game, and that kind of parlayed into a week of activities here at the high school.
Yeah, and honestly, it's been very educational, and we start off on Monday with 9/11 and a really sad and tumultuous time for everybody in remembering that. But I feel like it's such a good way, like we've done such a good job at Little Miami remembering and just recalling facts and stuff. Like it's so important and sad, but like good to remember that.
And we're going to talk to our Corps Commander for JROTC today. And JROTC has taken kind of a leading role, as I understand it, in a lot of things going on. This week, they lowered the flag down to half staff at 8:46 and then returned it. I think it was 10:50. I know they have had some activities throughout the week. They've been making PA announcements throughout the week. They've kind of taken a leading role in that.
Running up the steps, trying to...
Yep, on Friday they're going to do the steps, kind of like the firefighters do on the anniversary as well.
Right.
To try and carry that message. It's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of steps. So there's a lot of patriotism in this community in general, and I think it's cool to be able to show it from a school perspective as well.
We got to honor our staff who were also part of the military. I personally don't have a lot of military people in my life, but I know you do.
Holy cow. Yeah, I'm the only one who didn't go to basic training. My mom and dad met in the military.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's so sweet.
And then my brother kind of followed in my dad's footsteps. My dad was a fighter pilot. And my brother, actually, I'll take the second to brag as like a proud big bro. My brother texted me Saturday afternoon as I'm watching college football and goes, "Hey, you might want to turn on the Mississippi State game." I was like, why would I watch the Mississippi State game? He goes, oh, because we're getting ready to do the flyover. And I was like, whoa. Like, we, like your squadron? And he's like, I'm about to go get in the airplane.
Oh, my gosh.
It's like, okay. So the whole fam got a snap of them in formation, like leading up.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, my dad did some flyovers back in the day. So it's kind of cool to see little bro get to carry on that tradition. For Mississippi State, Arizona, which ended up being a really good game. They don't put the flyovers on TV, but my sister-in-law made sure to get some videos. And
good.
We all woke up to that on Sunday morning, which was cool. I know mom's proud, dad's proud, his wife is proud, I'm proud. That was kind of a cool moment, especially after being at the football game on Friday night, and seeing as we recognize so many people in our community that have done so many awesome things, and then it's a little different when it's your fam.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was cool.
It's a sense of danger and sense of accomplishment that they go out and risk their lives every day, and it's so important.
So our guest today is basically trying to go down that path.
Yeah.
So coming up, we're going to chat with Alena Greulich, who is the Corps Commander of the Junior ROTC program. And Colonel Peterson and I had chatted. Him and I were part of that cool lunch crowd a couple years ago, and he had always kind of stressed that it's a citizenship program. And I think Alena says that pretty well.
Yeah, I think she does. Very concise.
So here's episode 5 with Alena Greulich.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to the Woodhenge podcast. I'm Mr. DeSanctis.
And I'm Miss Frederick.
Thanks so much for joining us as we continue the celebration at Little Miami for Patriot Week with the Corps Commander of the Little Miami JROTC program, Alena Greulich. Alena, thanks so much for coming down to the DMA room.
You're welcome. It's nice to be here.
Yay.
As it's like way too hot in here for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
It's very hot.
That we haven't quite figured out. But we'll get to it. At least we only have to do it for a half hour, or for some of us, the rest of the school day.
Yikes.
Yeesh. But alas, here we are. So in your role as Corps Commander, that's a pretty big responsibility. Tell me about how you got involved in JROTC, like just to start, and then we can kind of push down that path a little bit.
So kind of really started when I was like 13 years old, I went to this camp. This air camp is what it was called. And they made us go up into this plane, and they made us fly it. I only did a right turn, though. And I did a right turn, and I fell in love with flying.
Oh my goodness.
Ever since I was 13, I was interested in potentially joining the military to fly planes. So whenever I went into 8th grade, the JROTC came, and like they went to class to explain what it was, and I got all excited, and I was like, I didn't answer any questions though because I was a little nervous because I was the only one interested. But yeah, and then I joined, and then yeah, I've loved it ever since I joined. It's an amazing program, honestly. I love it so much.
I know I've had a lot of conversations with Peterson through the years. My first year or two, he and I were part of a really cool like lunch group. I think you came down and hung out with us a couple times. And it was Patton was there too, eating her goldfish. Like it was a pretty.
Oh my
good
God,
group.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. It was that time of our lives.
Wow.
I know Peterson has tried to kind of get the message out about what JROTC, what it is, because I know there's no military commitment. I know sometimes that gets confusing. He labels it as a citizenship program. So what, for somebody your age that's listening, what does JROTC do at Little Miami?
So what we try to do, because we have several goals that we have. So we have cadet goals, we have community goals, and then we have other goals. I forget the other goals, but our main goal is to basically develop citizens of character dedicated to serving the nation and community. And what we do is basically to do that is we do a bunch of community service events, like we do like Haunted Hayride, we do Matthew 25, we clean tables after school, which I did all last year. Just to get community service. And then what else? We did a Veterans Day event to honor veterans who died. And then also we do a whole bunch of stuff. Color Guard is another community service thing that we do. One thing that we're thinking of doing for community service is like cleaning up after the homecoming parade, and maybe cleaning after, because there's also going to be like a sit-in movie theater after that. We're thinking of cleaning up after that, so that's basically what we do community service wise. And then what else we do is we do like drill and color guard. Those kind of develop like help you with like leadership and stuff, because when you're in drill you have to have a command voice, and you have to be able to tell people what to do and mean it so that people will actually listen to you. So it's actually very fun because you get to yell at your classmates.
Oh, the power.
But it also teaches you discipline as well, because you have to make sure you stay in formation, do what you're supposed to do. Like when you're standing attention, you have to keep your eyes forward, stay at attention, keep eyes up, chest up, back straight. And it's sometimes tiring, but it teaches you discipline.
That sounds like it.
And then for color guard, it's kind of the same thing. Basically, you got to make sure you know what you're supposed to be doing and then doing it correctly. And basically.
My whole family's military. My mom used to like drill my brothers and I, or just my brother and I, of like marching properly and make sure you have a good salute. Of course, my brother wanted the military, so that did him a lot of good.
Oh my gosh!
I'm sitting here teaching, doing a podcast, and I'm like, oh yeah, no,
thanks, Mom.
I remember hearing that. It was not not quite what we always got yelled at about, but no, I'm familiar with it. What's like your favorite part of being in JROTC?
My favorite part was marching. Sadly, as a senior, I don't do it anymore because we have a lot of other responsibilities that we have to worry about. But marching was my favorite part because we got to do which we do the 30-step drill sequence, and when you do it correctly and you know all the steps and stuff, and then you know all the minor details, it looks amazing.
Oh wow!
It looks awesome. That was my favorite part because once we got everyone, like all the first years, and then perfected the second years, and then the third years were like teaching it looked awesome. It makes me happy to watch that after like a year of just watching them starting seeing from where they became, where they didn't know marching at all, to being almost flawless in marching. Oh, it's amazing.
You see that progression.
Yeah,
it's cool.
That's awesome. That's so impressive. I love that.
I'll mark down the time to cut it out.
Thank you.
Yes, dear.
Okay. My question for you is this. What is a challenge from JROTC that you think is really good and builds that character that you were talking about?
one thing probably is the leadership roles that we have within a flight, because so the structure of a flight is we have our flight commander who's in charge of the flight, then we have the flight sergeant, and then we have IG NCOs, which they inspect our uniforms. We have logistics NCOs that make sure that we have all our uniform items, and then we have PT NCOs who make sure that we get all of our PT stuff done on Fridays. Sorry.
You're good.
So when you're put in those leadership positions, you're put in them for a reason. It's to help you either grow or help you develop your leadership skills and stuff like that. So I feel like it can be a challenge because some people don't exactly know how to lead or how their like style of leading is.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like you explore that a little bit in those positions. And I think a lot of, like currently, some of our one of our flight surgeons, we put him in there because we wanted him to grow a little bit, and he's grown so much.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow.
I think leadership is one of those buzzwords that we toss around in high school a lot, but like just because you're the most talkative one in your group project doesn't necessarily make you a leader, and that might be hard for some to hear, but don't hate me because I'm honest. But I see the leadership benefits that come from doing that kind of thing, where you're actually kind of in charge of something. So in your role as Corps Commander, do all of those NCOs and everybody you just mentioned, do they just all fall in under you?
So to add on to the structure, currently, I'm going to start from the very top. So at the top...
We need a diagram.
Yeah, we really do.
Do you want to use the whiteboard?
So at the top, is the Corps Commander, which is me. And then below me is the Vice Corps Commander, which is Elijah Kolar currently. And then below that, next to that, we have our Superintendent, who is like kind of like the bridge between everyone else and all the officers. And then the officers that we have are the IG officer, the logistics officer, and the PT officer. And then below that are all the flight commanders, flight surgeons, IG NCOs, logistics NCOs, and PT NCOs, basically. So that's like the pyramid, essentially, of what JROTC is.
All right, so we'll start the quiz in just a couple minutes.
Oh, God, I'm already going to fail because I'm like, wait a second. So how did you get to where you're at? Like, how did you get to be, okay, I don't want to say wrong, Corps
Commander.
Corps Commander. God, I'm sorry.
English teacher over here.
I'm trying to read at the same time.
So basically, they put me in a bunch of different positions. I've been in, so to name a few, I've been a flight commander, I've been logistics NCO, I've been IG NCO, I've been PT NCO, I've been events officer last year, which is basically they fill out a bunch of event sheets. It's like a secretary, in my opinion. But, so I've been in charge of LDRs, like a lot of LDRs, which is like leadership development requirement is the
term.
Yeah,
Nice.
the term.
All the acronyms.
But
Seriously.
so some of the LDRs I've been in charge of are APT, which is Awareness Presentation Team, which is our kind of recruitment tool for like everyone for our program. I was in charge of the Words Banquet last year. What else? I've been.
Oh my gosh, they've just put you through the ringer.
Is there anything you haven't done? I mean,
so they basically put me in a bunch of leadership positions to like make me more flexible and make me like get experience each.
To know all the roles.
Yeah, to know all the roles. Because basically with Corps Commander, you have to know basically essentially how everything works. So that way you can like help out or something like that.
Was that your goal the whole time when you joined? That's you wanted to be a commander?
So in freshman year, so we had like probably like 20 people, maybe a little more than 20. I didn't think I was going to be Corps Commander because I looked around at my peers. I was like, that person's probably going to be Corps Commander. Or that person's probably going to be Corps Commander. Yeah, I didn't really have the confidence when I was a freshman, but my confidence has obviously grown since then.
Exponentially.
So I still think that I still need some confidence boost because I don't know entirely what I'm doing, but I'm learning still. So
I know that feeling.
Yeah,
because I've made a lot of mistakes this year. So
that's okay.
Yeah, I know it's the beginning of the year, but it's still like I'm like
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to learn more from failure than you than you ever will from success. But
Right.
does it mean it's safe to say you like the JROTC program?
I love it.
So Colonel told me to ask, and again, Colonel told me to ask, if you like it so much, why you skipped it today to come do this?
Because
You don't have to answer that. You don't. But put it out there. If you want to, you can. But
I'm going to answer it just so he can listen to this.
Oh, heck yeah. Call him out.
So he's the one who reached out to you about this, and I took the opportunity because I figured it would be an awesome opportunity to explain what JROTC is, because there's a lot of misconceptions.
Well, that sucks that people have that misconception of what this program is, and it's because they just haven't researched it themselves. I think that this is a great opportunity to share that too.
Yeah, because it's a lot different than what people think, because people think it's like, drop down and give me 20,
Right. Classic military, right?
Yeah, it's the opposite, honestly. We still do military things, like we still have like that structure and the those like kind of principles, but like not like, it's not like yelling, like it's not boot camp. That's
You said it earlier though, you're building citizens.
Yeah, we're building our main goal is to make sure that everyone is a good citizen by the time that they leave JROTC. Because
that's so important.
Personally, because I think our society needs it. Honestly, with all the things that have been happening, throughout the years, it's just mind-boggling what people are doing, and how people are behaving, and it's just like
structure is a good thing.
Yeah, structure is a good thing, definitely.
Right? That's why we have the bells for school and stuff like that. That's very bare minimum, but
that's a lot of structure very quickly.
3 minutes, go.
So with your involvement in JROTC, have you seen it? Have you seen that structure, that discipline, that leadership bleed over to other areas of your life, whether it's sports or work or anything?
So I never really got the opportunity to get involved in other things, because I did club swim after school, which would take like 3 or 4 hours after school to it would take up that much time, and I didn't really have the opportunity. But I do feel like it did kind of bleed into that a little bit, because some people at swim practice didn't necessarily act the way they should. So I was like yelling at them. So that's
You're like, I am your swim leader.
Swim commander.
Breaststroke, go. Swim commander. Do the dive.
But I do feel like it's helped me, help others to, like with problems, and maybe, explaining how they could probably get through things or something like that. It's definitely helped with confidence outside of school as well. But I still got to work on confidence.
How about swimming? How are we doing with swimming?
Yeah.
Swimming? So I actually quit swimming because of club swimming. I quit because it became so stressful, and with being Corps Commander this year, it's already stressful enough. So adding club swim on that probably would have made me
that was gonna be a lot.
It was gonna be a lot.
Pass out.
Pass out, yes. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna be doing high school swim instead. So I'm still swimming. I'm just not swimming as much.
Have you swam for the high school before then?
Yeah, I started. Okay. Yeah, I started my sophomore year. I wasn't able to do it freshman year because I kind of got on late. So yeah.
Can I ask what your event is?
Mine is the mile.
I love the mile, the best.
Yeah, also known as the 1650. It's not an actual mile, but just to make it shorter, it's called the mile. So.
I love when people would. I also swam, and I love when people would show that you stick a board with all the numbers they count for you. And I remember I did that for someone right after I had done the mile. So I had. Okay. And I had no oxygen in my brain whatsoever. I miscounted for them. They swam extra.
Oh.
And I was so all the bells are going off. I'm and then everybody was yelling at me, and they were but by then they'd already done, 50 meters extra. And I was just shaking it down there. I'm why did you make me do that? Yeah, they kept going. They didn't stop.
Okay, so it got their time.
It got their time. They were fine, but they just kept going because I had given them the wrong number.
That swim commander Frederick kept them going.
I really did. I was but I had 0 brain cells at that moment because I was recovering because I was dying.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, after the it's brutal, honestly, because it's in a 25-yard pool. It's 66 laps.
It's awful.
It's
Awful.
66
Sounds
laps. So
terrible.
It's
you're,
awful.
and especially when you're like swallowing water, like whenever you're breathing, and then you like get even more sick and then want to throw up in the middle, but you can't because you have to keep going. And then even if you throw up, you have to keep
I don't even
going.
want to think about that.
It's so horrible. Yeah, it's really.
So people do this for fun?
People do this for fun.
Okay.
They're like people who swim the miles are the same people who are like runners. Period.
I'm going to go run 10 miles because I'm bored.
Oh, I'm not a runner.
My whole family.
Oof.
My whole family. They're all runners. All runners. They run for fun.
Yeah, I think with our conversation with Mason, we kind of spilled the beans on how much we do food and cooking. And I don't want to say like running and swimming long distances and then food are mutually exclusive, but I think you probably fall into one of two categories for most of us. Yeah. So now that we're sitting here fall of your senior year, it's almost time to take that big next leap.
It's scary, honestly.
It's terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
I had some conversations with some students earlier. Yeah, I was like, if it's scary, it means you're doing it right.
Right.
Which is unfortunate, but that's kind of how it goes. What's next, or is that still part of what you're trying to figure out?
So I still haven't applied to colleges yet. I have to work on that because I have to get my essay done. But I'm trying to get this ROTC scholarship, which is a 4-year scholarship. It either pays for all of your tuition, or it pays for your like room and board and stuff for the 4 years, and then you would only have to worry about like one or the other.
I hope you get the whole tuition. That'd be amazing.
But the issue is the ACT score. I currently don't have a high enough ACT score for it. It's not an obnoxious number for the ACT score. It's just I'm not a good test taker, so that's the issue. So I have to take the ACT again at the end of October.
I was gonna say we're studying up for that ACT then, right?
And then I had to take the SAT a week later.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I'm for the first time in too. So
you'll be fabulous. Honestly, deep breath, go in there, try your best.
Yeah, well, I did it over the summer, and it's kind of in the summer, so my brain was like, wow, I don't want to do anything.
You know what? I will not be afraid to say this. I took the ACT 5 times.
5 times.
And I got 5 times. And ready? This is literally the score. I don't mind. I will share this with anyone. 19, 18, 20. And I was like, that's it. I'm smart, but I don't know how to take a test. And I was like, huh. And I know this is terrible. I don't know his first name, but he was my math teacher in like middle school or something, or maybe it was high school too. Mr. Levo. And I popped in and he helped me prep for testing. And then I did again 27.
27?
Yeah. I went from basically an 18 at some point and then jumped up to a 27. It's doable, I promise.
I took the SAT twice, and I did like significantly worse on the second time.
What is it about that, you know?
I don't know. The ACT I did fine, but my brain was more wired that way than it was for the SAT, and they're like theoretical.
Honestly, there's some people who think the ACT is easier than the SAT, and some people that think that SAT is easier than the ACT. So
when I was going, I mean, I'm not that old. I guess I'm the oldest one at this table, which doesn't happen a lot. That's why I like hanging out with Mr. Carter so much. But it was like a one or the other. Like your brain was either wired to do well in the ACT or you're wired to do well in the SAT. To do well on both, like have fun at MIT. I'll never see you again. Whatever you're going to be. I mean, they're just set up different. But if you, I don't know. I don't say like if you just study, you can do it. But it's kind of
study and practice and practice. You'll be amazing, honestly. You'll be fabulous.
Yeah, I'm doing some ACT prep, SAT prep for the next month. So
good. Then you will be ready. God, what's next on your agenda? So you got to apply to colleges. You're doing the ACT.
And then
what do you want to do? What do you want to do with the rest of your life then?
I want to be a fighter pilot. That's what I want to do in the military. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But that's also another whole like beast to handle because if you do it through ROTC, there's like this test that you have to take. I believe it's like your junior year of college. I can't remember, but you study for it throughout the couple years, and if you like pass this test, you can get a pilot spot. but if you don't, you're not guaranteed a pilot spot. So
Interesting.
So
it's very selective.
Yeah, you have to take a test in order to become a pilot in the military. And then after that, you have to go to pilot school for 2 years.
UPT.
Oh, wow. I did not know any of this.
And then after that, you have an 8-year commitment. So it's essentially a 10-year commitment with the pilot school, basically.
You're also not guaranteed a fighter spot either.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to think of other branches that have more opportunity. That's why I was looking at the Navy, potentially, because they have more opportunities. Because
you can fly with the Navy, right?
Because when people think Air Force, you should go to the Air Force because you want to fly planes. That's not necessarily true, because the Air Force has a limited amount of spots. But the Navy is surprisingly bigger than the Air Force. You would think Air Force, this should be the biggest Air Force. Like, we should have a big Air Force. No, you have a big Air Force in the Navy, but not the Air Force. But I don't understand why it's bigger, but oh well.
Right. You're going to do fabulous. I feel like the fact that you're already like looking ahead and like figuring out the type of dedication you need and that's required for it. Honestly, I think you're setting yourself up for success, which is, vital in my opinion for the military. I feel safe already knowing that you're going to join it.
So I see the Virginia Tech shirt on. We talked before because I love Blacksburg and that whole like mountain region. Where are you looking at? Is Virginia Tech on like the top 3?
I don't know about top 3, but it's definitely on the list. I haven't really put one at the top yet.
There's a big pool of schools.
Yeah, they're all in like one line right now. I'm just trying to figure out, because I've been to Bowling Green, Ohio University, Michigan State University, University of Michigan, University of Illinois. Did I say Purdue already? I feel like I said that. Anyways,
is that it?
Virginia Tech.
That's it. That's all of them.
15 more.
Virginia Tech and Old Dominion.
Okay.
So those are the colleges that I've been
10?
to.
Just a couple of them.
That's awesome.
My mom's like said, no more college visits. None. If you want to go on a college visit, just do virtual one online. That's it. But yeah, because they're expensive. Because you have to get a hotel and like stay there, and then like for a couple days.
The drive to like Old Dominion is like a day from here. That's not a short drive.
So what we did on that college was we did the entire drive on Sunday. Sunday, I had to drive some of it, but it was so long. I was ready to be home by the end of that. And so was my mom, honestly, because it's a 9.5-hour drive.
For a 30-minute walkthrough.
Yes. But I think we stayed there for the beach and stuff. I got crab legs. They were delicious.
Yum.
Oh, yeah. If you're down at Virginia Beach, you might as well.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny, too? I feel like you expect a college or something. This was what happened to me. I expected to go to like Miami, and that was what I was like. I didn't want to go to Ohio University. I ended up going there, but I didn't want to go, and I lied to my parents. They know this, I think. I lied to my parents because I had signed up, and then I just heard such bad things about it, and I was like, I don't want to go there, and I threw the paper away that had all the information of when I needed to be there, and my dad was like, all right, when are we going to go? And I was like, I don't know. I never signed up. He's like, you signed up. I know you did. And I was like, no, I really didn't. And he's like, I know you did. We got up at the butt crack of dawn and drove all the way over there. And we were, it was 3 hours later when our actual tour was, but we like walked around, and that's when I fell in love with the campus. Cause I was like, man, this is not what I thought it was going to be. It was so different. So I think it's weird trying to find the perfect place to go to college. Like, do they have your programs? Does it feel comfortable and safe and familiar? And
yeah, you almost have to go. You have to go. You have to go.
Yeah.
Or else you won't know what it's like there at all.
Sorry, Papa Frederick. My bad for lying. I don't know if I ever told him that. It's coming out on the podcast.
I stepped on campus and was like, this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, we haven't you literally just stepped here. Like you took 2 steps. How do you know? It's like, I don't know, man. Like this, I need to go work on my essay. Like we're good.
Yeah.
I am going to school here. Mm-hmm. How are we going to pay for it?
Yeah. That's how my tour guide was too. They're like immediately when they got into like Virginia Tech, they're like, I'm going here. This is where I'm going, basically.
Goodness.
Yeah, you have some of those. And then I think I had some family and friends that they started looking like sophomore year, and by the time they're going senior year, they still don't know where they're going. So that's too much anxiety for me. I don't need that. I was all set. I knew where I wanted to go. I got in early, and that was the end of that.
That's awesome.
I'm glad I did. But that's quite the
10
list you got there.
colleges and more. It'll be easy. You'll figure it out and be like, wow, this is the best decision ever.
Yeah, and that's not the only thing I have to worry about, because being Corps Commander, there's a lot of other responsibilities that you have, like making sure that there's a schedule for the week for everyone to follow.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
We have to put in goals the next couple weeks. We have to make sure everyone gets their uniforms in the next couple weeks. We have to make sure all the LDRs and all the committees are going in full swing soon.
Yeah.
Which we actually made a season for that, that's different this year. We were trying to make it more structured this year, because last year there was a few things we needed to tweak, so we're trying to fix those this year.
Yeah.
So.
Always improving.
Yes.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a constant process in between the years, and it's kind of sad that you won't get to see the changes in the future. That's what I'm a little sad about, because I know things are going to change.
Yeah.
If I come back a couple years later.
But I mean, even if you came back and visited, you could see the fruits of your labor,
Yeah.
Little Miami. We talked about this with Mason. Little Miami's a home. You can always come back and say hi. I'm sure that your
freshman English teacher would love to hear from you.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, I'm over here and I'm like, go back and say hi.
I mean, I think there's a saying about leadership is something with like planting a tree under whose shade you may never sit.
Yeah, legacies are hard, and you hardly ever see them. # Alexander Hamilton, the musical.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome. You are so welcome, guys. Oh, my goodness. Anytime.
Well, Elena, we know you got to get back to class. Colonel's going to miss you. We appreciate you coming down. We appreciate you taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah.
Good luck. Seriously.
You're going to be amazing.
Really glad we were able to spread some of the word about JROTC too.
Crossing fingers it works, because it's not what they think it is.
There you go.
We'll keep on spreading the good word.
For sure. Thank you so much.